Hello and welcome to first-time visitors to this YouTube channel, and to those coming back again and watching this video. And if you find anything of interest in what is being said or is of any benefit to anyone, then please comment and subscribe. My name is Vincenzo Russo, and I am the author behind the self-published book, Keeping in Touch with Cheryl, a memoir. The person who was known as Cheryl was my late wife, who died back in 2010 from the condition known as ocular melanoma. I had come to terms with Cheryl's death some time ago, but I cannot forget the manner in which she died. And because a lot of individuals and companies make huge profits from those who are diagnosed and still are diagnosed from various forms of cancers. And they include the medical profession, the big tech companies, the pharmaceutical monopolies, and their shareholders. Their only concern is about treating the cancer rather than offering cures or explaining what the causes are of these cancers. It is still a painful topic to speak about because the memories are quite vivid, and I still get quite emotional about what not only Cheryl, but admittedly, especially Cheryl, and what I went through during those times. In 2000, Cheryl was employed as a social worker with an organisation that offered services and support to those involved in the area of Alzheimer's. Part of her duties was to set up a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week hotline to provide support to carers who were looking after those in the early stages or the late stages of dementia. This required Cheryl and others to take home a cell phone, a huge, large cell phone, which they then took calls throughout the night. And there were many calls, and they often lasted hours, sometimes up to 2 hours at a time. So you can imagine what it would have been like to have this huge device next to your ear, emanating large amounts of radiation and heat, which was held close to one's eye. It was the following year that Cheryl experienced certain symptoms in her left eye, like flashes of light and the tissue closing in and losing a good deal of her sight. When referred on to a specialist, it was confirmed that she had ocular melanoma, and within days was in an operating room and under the scalpel and having a left eye removed. The biopsy showed that there was no residue remaining around the periphery of the eye after the operation. And so we went about our business with that peace of mind and just got on with our lives. But in 2009, Cheryl began to experience pain and was referred for an X-ray. On return of that X-ray, it revealed our worst fears, that nodules and lumps had shown up in the lungs and also in the liver. The oncologist confirmed that the ocular melanoma had returned, and it was one of those aggressive types of melanoma that if only a minuscule of it remained in the blood and it returned, then and metastasized, then it will go directly into the liver and other parts of the body. And so she was given a 6-month death sentence, despite the treatment by chemotherapy, which did very little to improve her condition. 6 months later, her body succumbed to ocular melanoma. And so I bring this topic up, even though it is still emotional to speak about it. But it's important not to forget those victims who were diagnosed and still are diagnosed with various types of cancers, and all the various companies and corporations who make huge profits from them still won't acknowledge and explain how these cancers come about. All they do is offer treatment with their products, which to a large extent have little or no effect on those who are diagnosed with a terminal illness. Just imagine, with this cell phone, and once again, the radiation and heat emanating from it, especially when it is known that the body contains over 90 or so % of water. Any individual knows that when you put heat next to or under water or some other form of liquid, it generates heat, and the liquid boils. So just think of what that water inside an individual is doing with that amount of radiation pouring into it. And still, they still won't acknowledge that there is any causal influence or effect between the cell phone and the body. They do have a lot to answer for. The details of Cheryl's death and also the experiences at the time are detailed in the memoirs. And if you would consider or are considering or intend to purchase either a Kindle edition or print version, then they can be purchased at Amazon, and a link can be found at the website www.vincenzorusso.com.au. Thank you for dropping by, and until next time a video or another video is posted, then till then, bye for now.